friends. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Here we are, August 1st, the full moon. Have you had a chance yet to look up in the sky and see her in her fullness? Last night, a quick story before we begin here. The sun sets very late here. The moon rises somewhat late, and we had this low-laying blanket of, low-laying blanket of clouds. And so it was really hard to see the moon till about 10 p.m. last night. And when my children and I finally, my lovely teenagers and I finally saw the moon, we went outside, and we had just recently watched The Notebook with a dear friend. And we laid in the street. I don't know if you've seen The Notebook. There's this epic scene where Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, they lay down in the street, and to have this release of control, to let go, to trust and to let go. And I live on a residential street, and I was afraid to do that, but it was exhilarating and lovely and a beautiful moment. So all of that to say, as we laid there in the middle of this street on this trust experience, take a look. The moon is spectacular and beautiful, and it may appear larger than normal right now because it is what is called a supermoon. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the energies, and this is especially for my Let Love Rise community that's not local here in Boise and will not be able to attend the full moon circle tonight, and just give you some insights about what we're experiencing, and then give you an opportunity to do your own at-home ritual and your own reflection of what this might mean for you in your life. So as I said, it's August 1st, and August is such a special month because it is going to be bookend by 2 full moons. So today, August 1st, we get the full moon in Aquarius, and it's a super moon because we're a little bit closer to the moon than we typically are, so it might appear bigger in the sky to you. So if you notice that and you see that, that's why. But then there's gonna be a second full moon, a blue moon, on August 31st, a full moon in Pisces. So this month, between the bookends of these full moons, is just a beautifully powerful, transformative time in our lives, collectively on the planet, personally, individually. What we do with that information is entirely always up to us. But this moon, I want to tell you just a little bit about it. So first of all, if you have your astrological birth chart, you might want to look to see where 9 degrees of Leo and 9 degrees of Aquarius are in your chart, because that is where the sun and the moon are. So the sun, we are in Leo season. If you were born today, or if you know somebody who's born today, August 1st, the sun is in Leo. So they are a sun sign Leo, and their moon will be in Aquarius. They will have a moon sign in Aquarius. If you don't know what your moon sign is, most people know their sun sign, but if you don't know your moon sign, I do offer a class called Moon Power, Moon Magic. And it's a one-on-one, or we could do it in a small group setting where we look specifically at your astrological birth chart and specifically the moon and what the moon wants to tell you, because the moon is a reflection of the sun, and tonight is the perfect night for that. A full night is a perfect night for that because they are in opposition from each other. As the sun sets tonight, that is when the moon will rise. So they are opposite of each other, and the moon reflects the sun's light, right? The moon does not produce its own light. It is a reflection. And just for us with our earthly bodies, the sun is our soul shine. It's our purpose on this planet. It's what we came here to do, figure out, work through. That's where our sun sign is. And where our moon is how that plays out in our daily life, in our earthly life. There's a lot of connectivity. The moon speaks to us about our emotional body, about our physical body, and about our daily the daily habits and the daily ways in which we carry out our purpose here. So there's a lot that your astrological birth chart can tell you. So if you're interested in taking this further and looking at it personally for you, go ahead and DM me, get a hold of me, and we can set up a one-on-one. Or if you're local, we could do an in-person class, or it could also still be a one-on-one here in my office or wherever. We can meet in this beautiful park. Normally I like to sit by the river, but it's hot. It's really hot in Boise, and this is one of my favorite parks. And here comes a squirrel walking right towards me. Hey, little guy. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. And so I just thought I would sit here amongst the trees and do something new, because a lot of the energies, going back to the charts, the 9 degrees, the Leo sun and the Aquarius moon, a lot of what is happening for us as we move through this really transformative month of August is to examine our lives and strip away what is not serving us, the stories that aren't serving us. Perhaps it's the habits, the patterns. It could be people. And I'll talk a little bit of how that could show up for you, but that's always something that you could do at a full moon, because the full moon is amplified, right? It is the maximum amount of light that we will see reflected in the moon is at the full moon, and then it will just start to wane over the next couple of weeks and go back into darkness. So as the moon also, goes from its fullness and transforms, it's releasing, it's letting go. It's like, I don't need this, I'm gonna adjust that, and this was where I was going, and why am I this way? And so it's just a time to really reflect what is working, what's not working, and what adjustments do you want to make. So always great to do that at a full moon. But this one in particular, not only because it's a super moon, not only because there's going to be 2 full moons in this month, but also because it's forming a square to Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of amplification, of blessings and abundance. Oh my gosh, this squirrel is so cute. I seriously, and it's really drawing attention to my ADD. Squirrel, literally. Squirrel right there. Can you see it? There it goes. Okay, so it is an amplified time, but not only is the moon in Aquarius, but also there is a Venus retrograde that is currently underway. I've talked about it on a couple other videos, specifically my Barbie video interview with my youngest child, Rhea. If you haven't seen that, I think it's worth a giggle. I had a lot of fun chatting with Rhea. But by the end of August, there are going to be 7 planets in retrograde. And before you freak out, if you freak out, I mean, you might even be like, why should I freak out? I don't even know what that means. Retrograde, this is natural. It does happen regularly. We've been having this for the last couple of years, but this retrograde time, it's where it appears from the Earth as if planets are moving backwards. Of course, they're never moving backwards. It's like if you're in a car in traffic and you're holding still, and then the line in front of you starts moving and it feels like you're moving backwards. You're not moving backwards. It's an optical illusion. Same thing happens with the retrogrades, but there are going to be 7 planets in retrogrades, and retrogrades are always a time for the RE words: review, reflect, revise, replenish, reset, all of these things, release. And tonight we're going to have a releasing ceremony, and that's something I want to offer up to anybody who's listening to this, how you could do your own releasing ceremony. And I can, if you message me personally, I will send you the journal prompt and the mantra and everything that goes with what we're going to be doing at the Moon Circle tonight. Moon Circle and ceremony. It's not just a circle, but we are doing this releasing ceremony. But so there is a lot of transformative energies that are happening in this month of August between these bookends of these 2 full moons. Now, transformation is a beautiful word. I'm all about transformation. I love it. I have this tattoo of a butterfly. Just the cycles of a butterfly is something I completely resonate with. But it's beautiful. Yes, the butterfly is beautiful. But holy cow, going into that chrysalis, the time in the cocoon, the dark night of the soul, the things you have to examine, the struggle to break free, that's a painful process. And so I say this as a heads up for the month of August, as things may fall away that you didn't anticipate falling away. Things may fall away that, or you may choose to walk away from something that is not serving you. Its time is over and you just feel a change is necessary. And even if you choose it, it's still hard. It still comes with it all kinds of, it brings all kinds of things up, and there's a grieving cycle to it. There's a loss, whether you want it or not. I think about when our family uprooted from California and we moved to Idaho, was that 6-7 years ago? It was something that we chose, and I loved it, and I'm so grateful for this place I live in. I mean, look at this. However, it was painful. All the people that we left behind and the familiarity and going to a place with no jobs and no friends and just starting over from zero, very, very scary and frightening and unsettling and hard, and you learn to lean on yourself. And so anytime that there is a transformational process, there is a grieving, there is a loss, there is some pain, but then the butterfly appears. Eventually the butterfly appears. If you go through the struggle and you face it and you take it on and you're like, yes, I'm ready for this challenge and I want to grow from this, you will. And this month in particular is really all about that, with the Venus retrograde that started on the 22nd of July and will complete at the very beginning of September 3rd. Yes, there's also the Lion's Gate portal, which is 8-8, very auspicious number. It's the affinity symbol. So the Lion's Gate is just I don't even want to go into that here because it's a little bit beyond all of my understanding, but it is this energetic time of also just really examining. It's almost as if there's a second sun in the sky during Leo season, which is ruled by the sun, and it's all about self, the lion, courage, roar, all of that. Like, who are you? Gosh, going back to the Barbie movie, who are you? What are you here for? And are you doing that thing? So all this energy is wrapped into this month. And I am encouraging you to take a deep breath. That's the opening song on my playlist for the full moon in Aquarius. There is going to be, or by the time this is posted, there's a link on letloverise.com. on the music page and also on the events page, where you can join the community playlist and add a song to this full moon that's resonating with you, that is just speaking to you as a part of your journey through whatever transformation you might be going through. Now, the reason that we release, I'm just gonna finish that thought. Take a Deep Breath is by Trevor Hall, but it is the opening number, and it's just really beautiful. But to take this breath, like, who am I? What am I doing? Am I on track? What is not serving me? What am I going to release and let go of? Which is our ritual tonight, and that's the prompt that I'd be happy to share with you. And we release, when we let go of something old, it makes room for something new. And whether we're talking about the clothing in our closet, the furniture in our homes, to the people who are in our lives, to the habits, the routines, when you make a shift and you make a change to get to stop doing one thing one way and start doing it another, it makes space for that new thing. So that is, I think that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Yeah, releasing the old to make room for something new, flipping the script, taking a look at the stories that you're telling yourselves that don't serve. Maybe it's that, this business is never going to work. I'm never going to make it. People aren't going to come. Nobody's interested in hearing what I have to say. And then you flip that to, okay, is that story helping me in any way? Or perhaps the way it is helping me is to not change, to stay where I'm at. But I'm telling you, this is not the time to stay where you're at. This is the time to release and embrace what's new and go for it. I mean, Pluto, we've talked about Pluto and Saturn, they're already retrograding, but Pluto is taking its final retrograde where it has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. That is the entire life of my child, my youngest child, Rhea, who did the Barbie interview with me. And Pluto is moving into Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about the future. It's about the intellect. It's about individuality. It's about rebellion. It's about breaking free from the norms, the stories, perhaps the stories we tell ourselves, the stories that we were raised to believe, that we think that we're supposed to be doing this and but we really want to be doing that, and then we don't do that because the story that we're telling ourselves locks us into a fear mindset. So can we release any of that? And if we don't release it, there is the potential that some things are going to be removed from our lives right now as a part of our soul's evolution and transformation. I am one who knows full well what it feels like to be the recipient of things just being removed from my life, one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And I tell you, that's what led me on this journey to where I am sitting here under this tree today, getting ready to host a moon circle ceremony tonight, is because everything that was stripped away was no longer serving me. And it's even hard to say that now because so much of that is wrapped up in my family. But who I am today and what I'm creating with this Let Love Rise community resonates and feels just so right. And will it be a forever thing, or is it a right now thing? I don't know. I don't have to have all the answers, but I can look to this energy and just be grateful that this has brought me here and that I get to speak into this community and invite some just really lovely souls to go on this journey with me and to talk about what is it that we want? How do we plan to live out our most courageously authentic life? What stories are no longer serving us? How do we free ourselves from that? What is it that we want to let go of and release during this month where, again, 7 planets in retrograde, your whole astrological chart is lit up with where these planets are, and the houses will tell you like where it's playing out. So if you want to know more, please, again, I would love to chat with you about it. There's plenty of resources online where you can also do your own work around that, but it is something that I'm passionate about, just for myself and helping others to know themselves better and maybe help you get some clarity. But also the Lionsgate portal on 8/8, just really pay attention. There's going to be a lot of clarifying moments, and it's beautifully placed between the full moon today and then the new moon in Leo, which is on August 16th. Locals, Salt Sanctuary, new moon guided meditation. You can sign up for that on my website or on the Salt Sanctuary. It's really beautiful. So the mantra for this releasing ceremony is to say to yourself, with love, I release that which no longer serves me. With love, I release that which no longer serves me. So I recommend that you, the squirrel's back. I recommend that you find an object, and if you can get near water, that's great. But you know, it could be I'm just sitting here and here's a stick I picked off the ground, something natural. If you're near water, Aquarius is an air sign. A lot of people think it is a water sign because it is the water bearer, but it's more like the vessel of what comes into the water bearer is, well, perhaps, certain stories that I've read is like it's the vessel of messages from the universe, from God, source, whatever, that comes down and then gets replenished into the earth as the water bearer pours it out into the water. So we are going to be down by the river tonight, finding an object that can symbolically symbolize this release, and then saying the mantra as we think about it, what it is that's no longer serving us. Talk about that, and then with love, I release that which no longer serves me, and let it go in the water and let it drift away. Let it be released, and then celebrate and welcome in what it is that's new, that you want to create, that's new. It could be in any shape or form. It could be anything from poetry and art that you are making to the new school year and how you want to show up as a teacher, as a student, as administrator. It could be a new home that you're setting up, or perhaps a remodeling project that you're doing, and how you are going to express yourself creatively and with beauty in your home. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity. Perhaps it's in a new relationship, and how do you want to show up differently in a relationship? So much of Venus retrograde is about our relationships, our values, our finances. So just dig in. This is the time to dig in to the earth energies. So much earth energy is activated. We've got the air energy of this sign of Aquarius, and also connected to the water energy. Earth, air, and water, just flow into that state and just allow yourself time to really reflect on your light and let the moon guide you in that. It has been a guide forever. All of humanity making sense of their lives through the stories told in the sky, through our understanding, and seeing that moon take what's not serving you and bring it down into the darkness so that something new can be created with the new moon in Leo in just a couple of weeks. So once again, to sum up some big points, because there's a lot happening right now. Full moon in Aquarius today, August 1st. Celebrate, rejoice, give thanks, question, possibly pivot your energies. Just really examine where you're at. Let it illuminate. And again, look at your chart. Look at what you have in Aquarius, what house Aquarius is in. Also Leo, the opposing sign where the sun is. Venus is also retrograding in Leo. So that's August 1st. August 8th, the Lion's Gate portal. Pay attention to conversations, to downloads that you might receive, to some clarity that you might receive. We are also, throughout all of this, we are in the Venus retrograde, the 40 days of Venus retrograde. And then the new moon will be on the 16th, the new moon in Leo. And then by about the 24th, Mercury is one of the fun planets that will go retrograde. And, I forget. Some of the others, doesn't matter. There's going to be 7 of them. There's going to be a lot retrograding, but it happened. Is it Neptune? Towards the end of August. So that last week in August is the time also where just the slowdown happens. And so just allow the slowdown to happen. Allow it to be. Relax into it and pay attention to your emotional body, what it needs, and honor that. And if something isn't creatively happening, maybe it's not the time to force it to happen, but instead it's the time to rest and reflect and rejuvenate and get re-inspired, all the RE words. And then the bookend on the 31st is this blue moon in Pisces, the bookend to this transformational month. So praying that your journey is as smooth as possible, as intentional as possible, maybe better than smooth. It might be a rocky road, and please comment below, share in the Let Love Rise community what's coming up for you. But my encouragement is to not run away from it, to look towards it, because when we look away and we pretend it's not there, the universe does have a way of getting our attention, whether we like it or not. So my personal experience tells me that it's better to face it head on when it presents itself, rather than having to react to it and get thrown off in our life. So once again, the mantra is, with love, I release that which no longer serves me. May you have a beautifully blessed full moon in Aquarius day and week, and I will look forward to reconnecting with you in person tonight at the Moon Circle, or right back here in a couple of weeks for the new moon in Leo. Thanks for listening. And if there's somebody that you know that might want to hear this message, feel free to share, like, subscribe, do all the things. And wishing you again, this is my Midwestern goodbye, even though I'm not Midwestern, wishing you a beautifully blessed full moon day. Thank you for listening. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.